So you want to properly host static assets on AWS infrastructure. In this video, I walk you through how you can do it in the best way. Before we start implementing, I'm going to give a step-by-step diagram showcase. First, create an S3 bucket for object storage. Second, configure the CDN in a way that you create the ACM certification for HTTPS protection and configuring the CloudFront distribution. Then create a bucket policy to allow requests from the CloudFront distribution. Then you set the domain record in your domain register, point to the distribution. And finally, upload an asset like an image or document. Then download this asset through the CDN. So let's get started. Log into the AWS console, navigate to the S3 panel, create a new bucket. I'm going to name it static asset for hosting and suffix with 99. Select ACL disabled, public access is blocked, enable bucket versioning, use the default encryption, and enable bucket key. And finally click on create bucket. After the bucket is created, navigate to the CloudFront distribution, create a new distribution, select the bucket that you have just created. I'm going to prefix everything in the bucket with /cdn. Select the recommended origin access, create a new setting, leave everything default, click on create. Take a look at the message. You must update the S3 bucket policy, so don't forget to do this step. Go to cache behaviors, leave the compression as it is, select the HTTP to HTTPS redirection, allow get and head methods. Don't restrict viewer access, use the caching optimized cache policy, don't set Lambda and Edge functions. We don't need firewall at the moment, so don't enable security protection. For the alternate domain name, I'm going to host as cdn.publiccloudtraining.com. Keep in mind, I own this domain and I can register domain records here. It also requires a TLS certification. I am going to use the AWS native ACM features, so navigate to ACM Cert Manager. Very important detail, for the CloudFront, you need to be located in the US East 1 region. Click on Request Certificate, enter the domain name and use DNS validation. Click on Request, refresh the list, select the certificate that you have created, copy the CNAME for the validation, go to your domain register. For me is name.com and create the record under the proper domain. Also paste the CNAME value accordingly. So after the record is created, you might need to wait up to a minute. If the certificate is ready, continue with the distribution. Select the certificate you have just created. Don't need legacy client support. Use the default TLS setting. Leave the rest of the settings as defaults. Click on Create Distribution. And you remember, because of the origin settings, we need to copy the bucket policy. Navigate back to S3. Select your bucket. Go to Permissions. Go to the bucket policy, paste the policy there, save the changes. If you navigate back to CloudFront, you can see that the distribution is still in the deploying state. Let's wait. Okay, it is done. You can see from the last modified date has a valid value. So as a last setting, let's copy the domain name of the distribution. Head back to your register and create a CNAME record. Don't forget to delete the protocol part of the copied domain. Add the record. Finally, add some objects to S3. You remember I have prefixed the origin with the /cdn, so I need to create this prefix folder. Let's do that. And let's upload some files to this folder. I have two files, road.jpg and dice.jpg. Let's get them through the CDN. Finally, let's check the network tab. And you can see the response have the CloudFront headers like pop ID and etc. So that was the lesson. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.